Shout to CommenterNation, greatest nation since United Nations. Once again, we back at it. Yesterday, we had a slick conversation dealing with certain things I had behind the scenes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going back into the messages. Queen Prodigy, let them know where they could go to your Instagram. Let them know your social medias. Okay. And that it's the same on Twitter, right? And your YouTube as well. Okay. So yeah, that's all three social medias. You can go and check out content and things that she is doing related to a lot of different subjects and just her overall social media idea and ideology. Here's part of what my issues are going forward. The thing is, I'm well aware that these guys are continuing to say things behind the scenes to certain people, and it's just agonizing because if we wanted to, we could really expose you, especially who allegedly I am witnessing, because I held back on exposing you a while ago. I could have had something up about her that would have just blew your spot, and you're not even a close relative to the situation. I could have really went in on you, but I didn't because I said, you know what? She's in a tough situation. Maybe that's not her character, but after reading what I read, you're a terrible person. So it really makes me regret not going in on her and not saying what needed to do. On the person that's recently making these threats, they are to another affiliate that we've dealt with before. Yeah. No. I'm talking specifically about them because I had them linked in a major way to the point where I could have did half the series on her, and we could have examined everything around what she's doing. But now she's back taking shots and different things and doing stuff behind the scenes. Like, you're not important. She's not important. You know, some people, I mean, when you look at the situation, you look at what they bring. All she adds is the deception angle, where she could deceive someone into thinking something's a way it's not, or kind of cover up a certain way. She doesn't bring anything efficient. And that's exactly why she's been a side piece. And like, how are you a side piece in your own situation? That's craziness. That's the moment she should have looked at herself. And I don't know. What disturbs me is that people keep using these synonymous words, the this and that, like an army or something. Like, trust me, you don't have a clue. You don't have a clue. I mean, it's the whole way that this generation that we live in goes about a persona. And for me to even speak it to them this way, you got to understand none of that matters when you have no character. So you're saying you got someone willing to risk their lives for you. So they're willing to risk a lot for someone with no type of character. I don't understand that. And if they're willing to put their life on the line for that, better luck to them. But I just find these type of characteristics around just demeaning to even witness or recognize. I presume, I'm going to just presume you haven't seen the live stream we had yesterday. Verbatim, I read off a conversation between Panama, who I might add, I know you changed your photos and things on Instagram. That's not her. That's not her. My people went and looked and they brought back the information. That's not her. So why are all these witnesses, and Queen, I gotta ask, why are all these witnesses changing their photos, changing things, diverting themselves, like just changing the overall scenario on how they look and what's around them? They're oh, they're saying they're not hearing you. Did you want to move closer? I'm gonna see if I can turn up the volume as far as that goes. Thank you everyone for letting me know. They said they're not hearing it. I'm gonna turn it up. Okay, so let me try this. Go ahead and just briefly reiterate what it was you said. I think I know why they couldn't hear you.
Okay. Well, basically, just to talk about different situations pertaining to why people hide their faces, right? Let's just jump into that, and then I'll go from there. So essentially, why people hide their faces, you know what I'm saying? It can be someone with with a few followers, you know, for clout versus, you know, 1 million followers for clout. You know, they realize that the situation is a little bit more highly, I guess, serious when it comes down to the validity of the things that they say, if that makes sense. And they don't want their own personal identity to really face the consequences of the things that they say. People that have no problem showing their face and like being honest about who they really are, like, I do what I do. It is what it is. I own who I am. Like, I have to be me 100% of the time. So sometimes it's interesting because others will definitely get into the space of even using specific personas or characteristics to try to debunk who I am as a person. And I kind of take highly offense to that. Like, ain't nobody gonna be coming for my name on my jugular. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this was actually created by my parents, and I take that with pride. I own my name, my characteristics of who I am with pride. And so when others tend to sit around and play games on the internet, it's a lot of ego battle. Like, people sit there and they choose sides, and it's like, oh, you have to rock with this person and you can't rock with that person. And it's just like, yo, I don't do high school. That's not what I came here to do. What I came here to do was to speak up for someone that wanted to voice what they had to say. And he's not the only entity that wants to speak up and say what they have to say.
No.
But at the end of the day, I was created with this gift, okay? My mother, my grandmother, my maternal, paternal, all that created that. My ancestors gave me this gift. So I don't want.
You're going in and out.
Okay, hold on. I'm just just saying that it's always been a thing. I've always had my own gifts. I've always had my own energy. And if people, they just tend to think that, oh, well, you move in this way, so you must agree with that. Ain't nobody sitting there being a woman and asking me how I feel, or being a man and asking me about my own personal opinion. And if they don't even care about my personal opinion, then it doesn't matter what the hell they say about me or what they think. So I just do me. So at the end of the day, I still have to continue to push forward whatever it is that I need to push forward for myself, despite what people have to say. Even if they paying me a rack, or if they paying me $200 or whatever it is. And even at the time, they might think that I'm amazing or that I'm great at what I do, which I am professionally great at what I do. But that is not going to hold my situation to a point to where it's okay for people to say, oh, you just got to choose this side, or you got to be on this side or that side, or whatever the situation is.
Now,
I'm my own person.
I want to say, everyone hit that like button coming through, just so we keep everything into the public. So, I'm not going to say a name, but we're well aware someone that is very, very close to the situation has or is currently sending specific threats to ongoingly. And I have them. I'm not going to release them, but I have them. I have all of those things. If you're ever affiliated with it and you sent the threat, Czarr has a copy of it. That's just what it is. Doesn't matter who you sent it to. I have a copy of it. So if I wanted to, I could expose you. Let me just put it that way so they know going forward. And again, that just needs to be known, because I read last night's receipt and told you what one of the people who were just around there were saying and doing. I want you to imagine the magnitude of the type of threatening nature some of these people are taking that are even closer than this girl was. And I read that to you fully last night. So I say that to say this. Now, last night, I don't know if you heard it or not, I read a receipt that had someone saying they loved that day. Then they went down a list of what they loved, which was being at Riva Motorsports right away, being at the ER right after, going to the memorial all day long, and seeing him in a casket. Why do you think someone would have alluded to loving that day?
That is pretty sadistic in my mind. I would really love to know who that person is, but to be completely honest with you, I probably shouldn't, because I'm not even gonna lie. I do have a temper, and I'm gonna be for real. Like, I take that to heart. Like, I know that, you know what I'm saying, Czarr has his own people, his own blood, his own family, but to me it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's just this Jamaican mentality that I have, like, to where it's like, oh, you mess with mine, I'm gonna come for you. And that's just kind of how I feel. So I'd really love to know who that is.
Well, her name, when I last spoke to her, was Panama. She hopped inside, and we could talk about her government name when we're all fair and stuff, but she hopped inside my comments as Vam Pansy. And there was a person who, I don't know what she does for a living. She's been rocking with the channel for a while. She did the research and pulled up all the plausible people. And we made a direct match to her relative that brought me to her specifically, that she was using someone else's name and was doing that on my channel. Not only that, we went and did research, okay, on the verbatim name of the witness named Victor. We did a verbatim research on his entire government and came up with some very scary similarities between his hereditary links. So we found relations. I know who this man's related to, and I don't know if anyone else knew this.
Interesting.
That's
I don't know nothing, dude. Like that. Like I feel like I was thrown into this whole situation blind. You know what I'm saying? Like, just feeling my way out in the dark, and people have like attach so many different concepts to the situation. So I'm just coming, as much as people are like, oh, well, you're psychic, like, homie, I don't keep my power or whatever it is, or keep it active all the time. That thing is a chakra, it's a muscle, and that muscle needs to be worked on. I need to meditate. I need to do all of these different things to prepare myself to even tap into that realm. So I'm still human. So a lot of people have this perception that, oh, I know every single itty ass detail about, every itty detail about what is going on, and that's kind of pathetic and sad.
Another thing that I find very disturbing is that I am able to presume this. Was someone blaming X for someone else's demise? When I'm doing research and looking at relations, shout to Chris A. Us talking behind the scenes, I find a lot of credibility in what Chris A was saying. And here's the thing, he mentioned it, the person, everything, without me ever talking about it. So it made me go back and think, like, wait, did they love that day because they were blaming X for something they're just straight up assuming that he was involved in? I read through that story.
Okay.
Here's what's scary about that story. I read through it, evidence, everything, guys. Guys, I read through it. And what gets me about that story is that there were 3 men, allegedly, by what was presumed in the car to do it. Since then, they only made 1 arrest. And this happened a while ago. If we're alluding to the same thing, because I'm finding all sorts of connections. But my thing is, let's presume that there was a situation that was relevant with the type of topics we talked about in our first live stream. Is it possible that they're trying to cover up another crime in the midst of things occurring that way?
You know, it would have to be about specific details. If you want to like message me, I could probably elaborate on it more. But it's a situation to where, again, there's just a lot of funny things happening, you know, pertaining to everything around his life. And I don't think that, as far as who he is as a person, I don't think that he would want to have anyone to go through that. You know what I'm saying? To go through what he went through, to go through what that other person went through. He's a very loving person. And that's all I can really say about that. If anyone acted in a certain way, it's on their own accord. It's on their own merit. And that's just kind of how I feel about that.
Now, I mean, I also got something else on Instagram where I caught Victor using derogatory slang very loosely. And when I said something, he just laughed. And when I think of that, I think of this being the character that was enthused on and supported and respected throughout the entire situation. So it almost feels like this guy is the guy that, you know, has been doing different things this entire time. And it really was disturbing to think about. Like when I think about it, it makes me go, wait, is this who this person truly is? And I've been trying to figure it out. Why do you think they wouldn't show the video with Victor doing anything he said?
Because in my opinion, I can, as I stated before, I've made it a point in your live previous to you actually reporting that there are certain, I guess you can say, crisis actors involved in the situation. I mean, people can go through whatever has been posted on your page or even on mine and see that everything that I've ever talked about or mentioned, I've always been like for real on point with certain situations, and I just kind of feel like it's a sad thing that they take it so far to the point to where I don't know. I just kind of feel I keep hearing like, oh, cover up, like constantly trying to cover specific details or cover different situations up, or even just distracting everyone from what the truth really is. And it's kind of sad that people will go to that extent, to make sure that they're deterring people from the truth because we still care. We still want to know what is happening, what is going on. But it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because they want to basically make sure that nobody's on their heels about the specific situation, and that's why I tell the people to constantly talk about him, to constantly make it aware of what's going on. And people say, oh well, that's clout chasing, or this is this, that's that, and it's just like, no, it's actually because people sincerely care about what's happening in this man's life, and it's not, what I'm saying, to be in the space of being nosy or whatever it is. It's because they've invested their well-being, everything, their energy into into his name, into being everything that he became. And so why wouldn't people be frustrated and be upset at what is happening and kind of look at and speculate on what's going on? And it's not fair that, like I said before, that people are constantly being deceived for BS. And on top of that too, that other hip hop Sesame Street media platforms are actually promoting that to happen. I think that's really, really sad that, other people claim that, oh, Ja was my friend, or Ja was this or was that, but they don't support getting legitimate justice for him, or even taking out the time to actually push that agenda, because of the fact that they're afraid, or they, whatever the situation may be. I don't really cop for that. Like, I don't really rock with that. Like, if you're 100% for this man, like, there should be nothing in your heart that stops you from saying, I'm going to do this for, my brother, my friend, my homie, my whatever the situation may be. Like, there's nothing in the world that should stop you from being that person to say, yo, I'm going to do the right thing. Like, social media has gotten to the point to where it's better to lie and to basically front and be in a hive mind than to actually have an opinion for yourself.
Now, I just want to read a sample. I'm not going to read this. This is a sample of a threat, okay? I'm not going to read the full thing because I don't have it. I'm not going to tell you who it's to. I'm not going to tell you who sang it, even though I know both of those. Okay, here's a sample. You look like a crack whore. You ugly, A word, B word. You tried it. You got the right ones. I'll make time for you today. You come guzzling, broke, stink, A word, B word. And how about we could come to you, ho? Just drop the low.
That specific situation, I'm gonna say it like this. There has been situations between two different parties, okay, to where, interestingly enough, I have met both parties. One specific person I haven't met face to face. It's only been online interaction. That individual made comments on specific posts and made, very strong claims pertaining to what happened to Ja and other individuals that are very close to him. And all I'm gonna say is this: like, I did my best to try to make peace between both of those parties and to say, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're making specific allegations or whatever the situation is, yo, come with proof. You gotta come with some sort of proof. At the same time, too, like, I can completely understand to where people are being misguided or things are being misinterpreted because this person may follow me or this person wants to have some sort of communication with me, that I may see things a certain way, or that, oh, I believe that this particular situation is true or not true. Honestly, the way that I feel, as I stated before, I only came into this simply because of the fact that I believe what Czarr has to say.
Shout out Australia.
That contradicts from both sides of what Czarr feels is true. And I'm just going to leave it at that. The only thing that I'm willing to co-sign for, as I stated before, was when a specific individual was in a specific location because that other person who actually owns that property admitted to that being true. And I'm not going to sit here and lie for someone or say, oh, this person is this or this person is that, when the person who actually owns the specific property already admitted to me and then wants to turn around and lie and harass and do everything else to make sure that I don't have the opportunity to say what's true. And so that's not what I do. Like, it's not like I sit here and take sides. I want to know the truth. That's what it is. I only speak on the truth. I only know what the truth is. I'm going to say it like this. Another thing too, both parties have been going at it for quite some time, back and forth with you know what I'm saying, with one another. And my thing is, as I said it before, everybody, the only reason why people feel the way that they feel is because they are hurting over someone. We're all hurting over somebody that we sincerely care for, that we sincerely love. And I wish that maybe that they could take the time out to see that that is the common denominator in their pain.
F this. I'm going to read part of what that witness said. Now, I read you guys a sample thread. This is a sample of yesterday. I'm only going to read it once. I read it multiple times yesterday. But check this out, okay? This is just the bottom half. I read the whole thing yesterday from start to finish. This is me starting off speaking. Whether you want to believe me or not, at this point, why would I even waste time lying to you? Dom and I have spoken, and he speaks with Cleo often. I want someone to tell me to lie in that. Dom, if you want to tell them I didn't speak to them, you're welcome to speak to you. You're welcome to say whatever you want. Okay, I'm not even going to argue anymore. Here was this witness's reply. I was at Riva right away. I was at the ER right after, and I was at the fan memorial all day long. I saw him in casket. Bro, I will call Dom right now and ask if he talked to your crazy A word or not. I don't need his number from you. Ben had it. That's how we did the interview, and I don't need Cleo's. Ben had it. I'm not lying to you either. This is what you kicked to me after you said this very thing. Here's what led to that point of saying that. Now, this is referring to Soldier Kid, because I brought up Soldier Kid earlier. I did my video on that. He's nobody. So off the rip, she's disrespecting this young man, calling him a nobody. So if I presume you had some relationship with him at any point, this is how you think about people like that. He's nobody. Stop giving him attention. He literally sought attention off of X's death and effed up the whole reality of what happened to him. Yes, I do know way more about it than you because I was here through everything, and I love that day. You love that day. There was something heartfelt about you knowing you were at these places in someone's demise. I just find it troubling. I find that troubling that someone that could be right beside you can be looking to love your demise.
I mean, my thing is, I don't understand. I just don't get where I'm trying to understand, are they for getting that person justice, or were they happy that the situation happened?
That's what I'm trying to get to. I don't know now. If I never knew, that confused everything. Even if I was kind of on the fence, that threw me off. That is why I went so hard. Because I was like, you know what? If she felt that way, what if it was allegedly her and a few friends plotting on someone? Set it up, because we know that women can use their body to attract men to set things up, to simp men. So what if they simped one of these suspects into doing what happened? What if it was a friend, someone who was supposed to be around but saw opportunity?
Mm.
And then I was like, wait, that's not alleged. That's what you respond to me. This is what you said to me. And here's the thing, I changed the subject and they still keep talking about it. It makes me go, what did you really want of the situation? Because you're saying you didn't hang around him like that, but you were an acquaintance that was close enough to run to every event and factional thing going on after his demise. What were you really there for?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. That's the biggest question of all. Like, what exactly is everyone's purpose behind this situation? Because, why would he be reaching out? So like if other people had that gift or had the gift to basically communicate with him, there would be no need for anyone like me to step forward, period. So when it comes down to who really loved him, and that's the thing, people often look at his videos all the time, constantly looking at his videos all the time, and wondered, why was he so unloved? Why was he hated the way that he was hated? Why did he get treated the way that he was treated at times? And it just makes you really wonder what exactly, who are these personalities? Like, did they really sincerely care that were around his circle or had a level of affiliation with him? Or was it a constant situation to where, you know what I'm saying, somebody's being hated on simply because of the fact that they have something going for themselves. They have a light about them that draws people to who they are as a person. And that's the most sad part, that people will definitely do whatever they can to sabotage or to do whatever they can to sabotage someone's character simply because of the fact that they may be gifted with a talent, whether if it's music or being a psychic or being, just being a multimillionaire. Like, it's a sad situation that our people have come to this point to where they don't even respect the fact that somebody is making their own grind off of their own natural talent. Because they gotta, forgive me, but I keep feeling like people gotta like bust it wide open just to get somewhere.
You know what? I agree, but part of what I'm trying to say is that I really want to look more in depth to understand exactly what's happening, and that's the only reason. So my uploads are going to be speaking about what could have been loved or what could go around that whole ideology that's being posed. I mean, life is precious. But when someone speaks about life, how she spoke about it, it makes me wonder their true intentions. I don't see anything genuine. I don't see anything respectable. I don't see a character that I can appreciate.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of characteristics from individuals that are very suspect. Like it's the fact that people lost someone that is very iconic and very special to them, and maybe they get into this space of hating or being jealous simply because of the fact that they don't know how to love. And that's kind of what it all comes down to, is that people just don't know how to love, or they don't know how to receive that love or want that general attention as much as that person does.
I would agree. It's just troubling that not only is someone saying that, but these are the same people who convince or attempt to convince others against individuals like you and I who speak our free mind, aren't swayed by everybody, literally speak on what we feel and think, which is our right. But they use that as a weapon to say, well, their right is doing this and that. But they think what they say is so acceptable. Opposed when most of it was slander. When I read it from top to bottom, it was just slandering me. And I didn't do it back once. And my only reason for addressing this person is because they kept spamming my government. And I was like, I'm a public figure. I already put that out there. What are you doing new? I'm not. And I really said, what's the tension? What's the problem? Then they went off on a tangent. So when I think of people like this, there is something about you that screams guilty to me. You're guilty of something. Even if you're guilty of knowing something that you shouldn't know, you're guilty of something. That's the only reason you would behave this way. And then you say you love that day in an emotional tangent. Where does that come from?
Now, I just have a one quick question. Of a person that was initially making threats, could that be the same person that loved that day?
No. This is a matter of fact, this totally different person making threats. I did an upload speaking about them loosely on who they actually might have been and where they fit into it. Matter of fact, we've even seen them in pictures with X at one point in time. And that's my thing. Now, as far as them in the investigation, I have my ideas of how far they were involved in it. But even thinking of it that way, it's like, if you were in it that way and that far, are you stupid to make these kind of threats on a phone you touch? You endanger everything. If you got scooped up, if you did, why would you be still doing the same stuff? Telling people to drop their location. And then you threaten by saying the fam, the team. Like you don't have a backbone of your own. You're such a coward. You can't make threats, violent threats to a person without you standing on it. Oh, I need him. I need her. I need this. You can't make the threats on your own if you're going to make them. Listen, late 80s, baby. I've never seen anything like this. It wasn't me calling this person, calling that person, making this situation, making that situation, making sure this guy was there, making sure that guy was. It was me handling my own. I could do bad on my own. I don't need to involve anyone. That's what I never understood. And it's like today, and everybody's like, yeah, that's hard. That's like, oh, I could call this dude up. It's like it's against everything that my generation stood for. We've never heard of it. Like, I never went to a war after threatening someone, anticipating a bunch of other dudes showing up to handle it for me. If you said that and you had the heart to say that, you're the one that goes and handles it. And it's crazy how people nowadays will say, oh, that's real. What's real about it? What? Because you could call up 50 guys? Awesome. What do you do? Here's a famous saying. I'm going to just say this. I've gotten from a mogul I've watched for years. We don't want to go to jail, but we ain't scared. We ain't scared to go to jail. Period. That's what I learned. And that's the nature of it. If I got to defend my own, I'm going to defend my own. I'm not going to let someone railroad me and send me through. Like the threats, here's the thing. Here's what's crazy about the threats. They're out of nowhere. Like, it's such a civil conversation. Then you're saying whatever. Then you're putting everybody else in it. You don't want to see the, you don't want to see the, you don't want to see. Like, it makes me think that this was the person that could have started lots of beef just to set people up with a bunch of other people attacking, because they never did it on their own. In my mind, when I hear people talk that way, you ain't never been in it on your own. You ain't never handled nothing on your own. That's my thing. That's the difference between what's real and what's not. And
it's one thing here. If I could just interject really quick, I feel like this. I always believe, like, okay, I'm going to use an example, right? The current, I guess you could say, beef that is currently going on right now. Like, let's just say Chris Brown and Offset. Let's use that as an example, okay? Like, they have a situation to where, you know, this man, Chris, basically posts something about 21 Savage and says, yo, y'all fans are crazy for this, you know, for posting him doing like a hip hop verse with a British accent or whatever, you know? And basically Offset comes in and says, oh, you know, basically take that shit down, or excuse me, take that down, that's lame, or whatever, calling Chris a lame for actually having that on his page. And basically someone, you know, like Chris, I can completely understand his personality on one level or another, to where people tend to, you know what I'm saying, like pop off, and then he has a response. Or even like Kanye West, when people say certain things and he responds in a certain way, and he's highly intelligent but very highly emotional. They're very highly emotional people, and they respond in a certain way, and then, you know, society looks at them like, oh, they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they coming out the woodwork and just like popping off at the face when people are just, you know, just clearly disrespecting them. And so my thing is this: it could go from either side, because there has been situations to where people have thrown dirt on everybody else's name. But from what I can examine and from what I see, is that if someone is saying specific things about someone else and calling them certain names and calling them out their name, or you know, just making specific threats or allegations or whatever the situation is, maybe they should actually take a look at that and see if that's a reflection of who they really are as a person. So it can kind of go on both ends, like to where someone can sit there and I can completely understand when someone is like, yo, this person's coming out here and disrespecting certain individuals that really genuinely care for this man, okay? And then they get upset and then they pop off and say a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's about whether if that situation is true or not. And that, like I said, it's not about me riding the fence. It's not about me choosing sides or whatever the situation is. It's about allowing everyone to have whatever opinion that they have, but at the same time, too, respectfully standing your ground and realizing that that has nothing to either do with you or even to do with other individuals that are caught in the middle of that. So I just kind of feel like when it comes down to the things that people say, it's, again, is it this constant hive mentality that this particular fan base is turning into, to where cyberbullying and harassment and being rude or disrespectful is supposed to be acceptable? Or is it really about actually getting some sort of peace of mind for the community and actually embracing everyone, whether if you agree with them or not, regardless of what it is, actually coming together and saying, yo, regardless of the money, regardless of, you know, the fame, regardless of all the attention, everyone has one collective thing in common. They are hurting over someone dear to them that they lost. I don't know this man. Never met him, never heard of him, never looked him up. And the funny thing is that some people that are pretty close to the situation took information from me to do whatever research that they want to do. Okay, they could research everything from top to bottom about me. And at the end of the day, one thing's for certain: they can't find anything on me. Okay, my thing is that Czarr has always been a person that's very spiritual. No one can take that away. I don't care who it is, especially those that are extremely close to him. Know that he's a very spiritual man, very spiritual person, and he definitely believes in astral projection and being able to use his intuitive abilities to see what is going on around him, because he wouldn't be able to make specific premonitions about what is coming in regards to his demise. There's no question about that. He's a very gifted person. The only reason why I had any inclination of knowing anything about him was looking at an article that I didn't even read at the time, and I knew it was about his ex, and now I know it's about his ex, but it's like at the time I had no idea who he was, what was going on, details, nothing. But just from looking at his picture, I kept hearing, "Help me, save me." And from that situation, it hurt me so bad that I didn't take out the opportunity a month before his passing to actually reach out to him.
Forget it.
To say
I'm gonna
it
just
will be okay.
I'm gonna just tell the secret, because they're so dumb. I gotta think for them. You want to know why everyone around this case that wanted me to speak about it a certain way is so stupid, and why most days I'd be resting, laughing at the hatred I'm getting? It's because you're so dumb. All of you that tried to do it, you're so stupid that your small brain did not realize the best tactic to have used against someone doing what I'm doing was to simply come out with some type of proof, okay? Some type of proof to every single thing I was saying, to either demean it or to stand unjustifiable in any way, not even provable. That's why you're all so dumb. Like, and this isn't the commenters, I'm talking to everyone you've seen hating. You're so stupid that I laughed at you. Like, if you ever thought he must be laughing at me, I was like to tears in my eyes, because you're so dumb. You don't realize how to use chess properly. Like, I was hitting you. I was in grade school using a pawn to beat your queen, rook, and bishop. A pawn. And you didn't even make it near my bishop. Like, that's how dumb you are. You just, like, I'm laughing because of how stupid they must really be in life. Like, I don't care if you get bags of money off of things you do, whether it's dirt, whether it's investments other people made, because very rarely is it something you do. You're just too stupid. It's just too stupid. And then whoever they put up to try and make the video, dummy, that was a boost for me. Like, you don't know how to do battle on social media. That is why one thing I said, and here, it's funny because I told them, I told you how to win, and you're still too dumb to even use what I'm telling you. I sat around laughing at you. You're dumb. I'm like, no one's this dumb. I'm giving information in it. I'm adding commentary on how to verse me in information. And they don't do it. They resort to threats, reposting things, saying things. Doing that, all you did was bring the heat to yourself. All you did was bring eyes you don't want around you, to you. You don't want these people seeing what you're doing. And all you did was keep bringing them. One of the dummies posted up my photo like, yeah. Like, Oh, I got hacked. You think they believe that? You're so dumb. Like I said to myself, there's no way a human being could be this stupid. It's like you have a lot of followers on your social media. You have a lot going on, but you're still so dumb that you didn't realize I was telling you how to defeat everything I was saying, and you couldn't do it. It was like you were like, nah, try this. It's like, how dumb can you be? No, really, how stupid are you? You should be sitting there like, oh, I'm dumb. I mean, I told you in the same video you dislike, I told you how to defeat it. You can't be any dumber than that. I mean, I sat up here laughing about you dummies with tears in my eyes. Like, these guys are stupid. Like, who raised you? If you raised yourself, there's no way education was any part of it. You gotta be dumb.
Individuals that you are currently speaking on, and that's the situation that seems to be happening now after Czarr's passing. Is that a lot of people want to have the intention of putting out his I guess you can say everyone has this intention to make sure that his legacy and as far as who he was changing or who he was becoming as a person is the primary objective. But at the same time, too, there is a situation to where it's stated that if someone doesn't agree with what you do or how you operate things or the things that are said or wanting to have, you know, intricate details and specific proof about specific things, like, you know, being a medium, it does not work that way. There's certain things that people can pick up, but it's not like I'm going to sit there and be like, oh, I lived that person's life and I know exactly, you know, what they watched or what they did or, you know, specific situations. There's certain vague things that I can basically pick up or general concepts that I can pick up or things that he says that I can reiterate to people and they'll know that I'm speaking to this man. There's like no question about it. I've allowed other people to come and test me that actually believe or actually give me the benefit of the doubt to actually say, yo, I'm gonna use my own personal life situation that has nothing to do with this man whatsoever to see if this person is legit. And I've come through every single time that anybody has ever come to me and questioned me or whatever the situation is and gave them specific details to their own personal life. And these are fans. These are fans. And I've allowed myself to open up because I already knew that I was going to get nothing but controversy and BS from individuals calling me fake, from saying I'm a big prophet, from harassment to using this groupthink mentality to attack the person that I am. And I'm okay with it. There's times to where I was just like, yo, like tell him straight up, like, dude, I just don't even care no more. Like, I don't even want to be bothered with all this nonsense because honestly, it's just a hot mess that people just believe what others have to say without actually coming to the source and addressing me as the source. Like I'm a real one. I'm a woman. When I communicate with people, that's what I do. And when when other people just don't agree with what I'm doing, well, guess what? I'm not going to sit here and allow fans or allow anyone that sincerely loves him because he considered his cult, his family, his fans to be just that, his family, to be a part of who he intricately is. I'm not going to let them sit there and wonder, oh, is this person really going to come through? Is this really going to, you know, push to the point to where other people can get the attention or to get the actual generalized concept of how to get justice for this man. It hurts a lot of different people involved in this situation.
Let me just add this in real quick. Like, for instance, the commenter I drool tits. You want to know why they're stupid? It's because you already lost. This is chess, you lost. because now everybody watching sees that your focus is to best me and it's not to get justice. You see how dumb they look? Like they don't think. That's the problem. You're so stupid. Like here's let me tell you how you should have did it. Let me give you a sample. You should have came in here instead of complaining about new information, instead of complaining about, oh, I will best you. You dummy. We're talking about justice for someone. Why are you worrying about besting me? You already lost. Like you're stupid. What else is there to say? You're a dummy. I mean, the best way you could have entered was talking like, I found something new. Everyone, come over, subscribe to me. Listen, that would have won. Because I would have been like, what new are they talking about? What new could they present? You're just here. You're just here talking directly against the person and not the information. That's the type of stupid I'm talking about. That's why I laugh. Like after this cuts off, I'm going to laugh like an evil villain over your stupidity. I am. I'm going to be like, this person's so dumb. Like you couldn't be any dumber than that. There's no dumber you can get because you do it over and over and over. Have you ever heard about the fact someone asked, was it the first time they hit the rock that broke the rock? Or was it every repetitive time they hit it until the rock broke? It's every shot that you hit with. But if you're swinging and missing, what does it matter when you swing? You're not connecting with the rock. So you're not making strategic thought patterns. You can say what you don't care about. You can say what you don't care about. Here's what needs to be understood. This case, I exposed it with the witnesses. I talked about the witness before anyone talked about him. I talked about the investigators when everyone was like, oh, it's truthful. Every single person that turned out to be suspect, I spoke about before it happened. What else do you need to know? And none of this, let me say most of it, majority of it, was not from predisposed knowledge. Matter of fact, I had sources arguing with me that I was wrong, but then it turned out right. I had sources arguing with me that was giving me the correct info that couldn't be true. Then they come back, oh, well, such and such happened. Didn't I say that? Well, yeah, but I wasn't. Like, I was doing that me. And it's just a fact. Because here's the way my Gemini works. I don't know about everyone. It doesn't matter if you're on a screen. It doesn't matter if you're on a camera. I could look you in your eyes. I could look at what you're wearing. I could look at your demeanor and see things that most people can never see. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's like that. It just is what it is. The only problem in this case, I can't see Tentacion's eyes through the video or on the camera with his thing. If I could see his eyes, best believe I could figure something out. That's the only thing. But I can see the suspects. And when they walked in, when Diedrich turned and looked at the dude, I still haven't talked about that. There was something in that I'm still deciphering. When he turned and looked back briefly at X's back and the dude, there's still something I'm deciphering. You see, it's not that simple and plain. What I do, you can call it easy or this and that, or he has, it's not that simple. I'm looking at so much more than you realize. When I hear your voice speaking to me, if Cleo ever wants to speak to me, when I hear your voice speaking to me, I can listen to you speak and almost figure out what your weeks have been like, what your months previous have been like, because of how you speak. You see, it's not that simple. It's part. That's why, even if I don't believe in what someone does, I still have respect for people's talent. Because I don't know what it is that I do. I don't know what that is. But I also know that it's relevant and it's work because of what has been delivered after I have thought that way. So when
there were things that, oh, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, so when Panama said what she said, best believe all the information you started getting was serious to me. It was serious to me. The understandings I started picking up were pure power, because I realized something, and there was two ways. She was too comfortable saying what she said. And I do have something crazy pieced together with something else she said I'm still in disbelief about. That's why I'm not saying it. She said something else. You want to know what's crazy? Didn't I look everyone right in the screen and say who your liabilities were? I told you. You guys just, they make me so angry. You can't be this stupid. I told you who your liabilities were. Before October, they turn out to be liabilities. How could you mess this up? How could you? The same way to the investigators. How'd you mess it up? How could you be that messy? To leave these witnesses around saying the things they said, if indeed you were someone who enacted on the case as a mastermind. How could you be that stupid? These guys posted it on their social media lives. They posted it, ran it for weeks, ran up the followers. Then they're trying to slander me for asking questions. Oh, that's not suspect. But investigators can't figure that out. Dummies. They're too stupid. That's why I know the policing of that immediate area allegedly has to definitely be family and favors. You couldn't have messed that up. You couldn't have messed it up. You couldn't have messed it up. I don't care who you're bringing in now. It's suspect because you didn't do the proper 48-hour investigation. For all we know, those 4 men could just walk randomly. You didn't do the investigation right. And any lawyer's going to point that out. You just didn't play your cards right. And now it's a free-for-all with these guys feeling comfortable making social media threats, feeling comfortable traveling, saying, oh, we're going to get people. That's how dumb they are. Left the trail already. Anything goes down, you get life. You couldn't have been that sloppy stupid. You're a liability now. Let's say it is on a higher echelon. You are a liability. Just as I said in the video, you're a liability. If you go away after the threat, they're not even tracking down these people. I knocked them. If I'm the mastermind, say I'm the mastermind of it, I'm sitting here like, that dummy said too much. Bring, bring. Yo. All right. It's that simple. You said too much to different people that have kept what you said, that weren't disrespecting you, weren't threatening you, weren't even saying your name. I didn't even say your name. That's how dumb you are. And you don't realize you are a liability. If I'm mastermind, I'm making that phone call like, yo, even if those things get released, you won't have the person that said it. Traveling around for free on other people's dime, doing this and that. You're a liability. You're all over the place. God knows who you're talking to in these other places, how can we trust you if you can't follow directions to shut up? You're literally exposing yourself to people asking questions who don't have a name or a face. It's like me sitting here saying, I need a name and a face. They're like, me? What? Me? It was me. He's talking about me. Let me put up the picture. I've never seen something that stupid. That's why I'm in disbelief. I've never, in my many years of living, many decades, I've never seen stupidity at this level. Never. I've never seen it. It's unheard of. It's like I'm not saying your name, not pointing you out, not even alluding to you. I'm using a letter from the alphabet. How many people share a same letter? Is there no one else with an S or a J in their name? Wait. Are we the only two individuals in the world with an S and a J in our name? They're stupid. I wasn't even playing you. Wow. I wasn't even playing you with a full board. I kicked the pawn out. Now I'm helping you. You were in custody. Why are you talking? Do they know you're talking? What are you talking about? It's saddening for me, because at least make it something to be investigated. But you're throwing yourselves out. You're throwing yourself out there. We don't even have to anymore. I'm like, it's you. I mean, I'm not doing their job for them at all. So you not do it for them. Matter of fact, all I do is ask questions, and you're running like this isn't, like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand. Queen, let me ask this.
Yeah.
If I'm to presume, okay, that these people around the scene that you and I know of, again, we're not saying names. Goodness gracious, we never do. Dummy, we never do. If they're so bold to make these threats, do you believe the mastermind even knows they're talking like this behind the scenes? Do they know?
I mean, honestly, the way that I feel, I have to still use my logical mind. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And this is just from my own thought process. So I feel as if either individuals are protecting someone of a higher echelon in the first place to make sure that the attention doesn't get to a specific level, or it's a situation to where how can I say it? To where they feel as if, oh, well, you're not, in this, you're not living the life, or you're not necessarily seeing what exactly I've been through. Certain people are just outsiders looking in. But the way that I feel is that when it comes down to all of us, it does not matter. It could be me, it could be you, it could be someone as famous as Czarr, it could be anyone. People have to understand that regardless of if they believe in energy, if they believe in gifts or whatever it is, everyone has a common denominator that they have to come to terms with. Is that we all leave this planet and we all pass away. We all have to face that one day.
Mm-hmm.
But while we are currently here, we're still releasing a lot of energy, a lot of information into the atmosphere. We're still releasing all of our sins, all of our good deeds, everything that we do into the atmosphere. And that atmosphere collects every single article of everything that someone says, how they move, how they eat, everything. It collects all of that. And by the time that a demise happens, everyone has to meet their maker. I don't care if you believe in a maker or if you don't believe in a maker. It does not even matter to me. It's what I believe in myself.
I want to just say this quickly. Cleo, just so you know, I'm going to get a little bit closer. I caught one of the affiliates who made a direct connection with you saying something insane that can be showed on the screen that it blows my mind. So if anyone knows Cleo, I sent her my number, my other number today earlier. You need to call me. You need to call me. Don't be worried. I'll turn the Czarr off on you. I won't do a quick. It only takes me a split second to do an analysis of a person. I won't do it to you. Just, we gotta talk. Because what she's saying, if I was to show it, it would break the internet. You don't want me to do that. Not me. I have it ready. I can retrieve it. I'll give the credit to the person that worked to get this. I'll read it verbatim. You don't want me to do that. And you want to know who did it because you're still talking to this person. I'm going to tell you that. You're still talking to them. I don't know why. Matter of fact, I don't know why you gave them your number. But I'm the one you want to talk to about this. And Dom, don't convince her otherwise. I know, dog, I can do split analysis of people. I already put all of that into thought of why she wouldn't call and everything. Don't convince her otherwise. Let her call me so she can hear me say it. So she can get that information to know that who said it, why, and she can figure out why they said it. I won't even say it. I haven't alluded to it. I haven't nothing because I just can't go around saying stuff like this. Because if it's true, it's going to break YouTube. It is going to be hundreds and hundreds of millions of people that want to hear this. Trust me. And it's one of the people you allowed around you. Remember when I was staying respectful to you and I was like, be careful who you're around and who you're giving yourself around to. They might say things they shouldn't say. Well, it's already happened. Matter of fact, it's occurred since October. But I put it on pause because I was like, it's too crazy. So you might want to contact me so at the least I can tell you who it is. And you can figure it out. And here's what's crazier about it. It wasn't just me that witnessed it being said. It was one other person. And I'm not going to name them out. And that's why they rock with me. Because they know. They know. So I'm just saying, I reached out to you a few times. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on. But tell me you don't make a phone call in a day. You make one phone call in a day. I don't care if you guys get on that recording stuff. I don't move that way. I'm not y'all. I move different. This is when I'm recording. The public shall not be denied. This is when I'm recording. But I'm opening up to have a phone call with you. So I'm an ally. I'm not someone for you to, me and you already had a pre-discussion about this. But we got to talk about this. Because this is, I said nothing. They said everything. And it has nothing to do with any previous guests I had on here. No. This is some other stuff. So we need to talk. That's all I'm saying. From one Jamaican to another.
Jamaican?
Pardon me.
Oh, that's sweet. I didn't even know didn't you tell me?
I got many other parts to me.
Nice. I had no idea.
Yeah,
and that's here's the thing, because this is the reason why this is like I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's other people that are very, you know, that are very close to him, that love him, you know what I'm saying, that were around him, whatever the situation may be. But when it comes down to seeing such an artist who, again, I had no idea who he was as a person, who he was as an artist, but it made me extremely proud to see someone gain so much success, but to also be themselves, like to be themselves. And it made me more comfortable in my own skin and actually coming forward and speaking up, you know, when he came to me. None of that. Like, all, you know, everybody thinks that it's so glorious and it's amazing. It's stressful. All of that attention is stressful. Everyone, you know, is very invasive. It's over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very over the top situation. The only thing that really captivated me was the fact that, as I stated before, I'm an empath. I'm very sensitive. So if I, you know, I can feel other people's emotions and like literally tap into that emotion of what they're going through. And I have a heart. I have a really big heart, and I feel for people, even more so to the detriment of actually caring for other people before myself. And that's the reason why I'm starting to understand the concept of what he was trying to express to others, as far as being alone and actually loving yourself and not necessarily being around so many others to manipulate the situation or to get you involved in anything that you don't want to be involved in. I can completely understand that now, because, you know, it's important to have like a level of self-identification, but to see that someone can actually touch the world, you know, through his circumstances. And I'm not saying that he's perfect. Ain't nobody saying that anybody's perfect in this situation. But at the same time, too, he did everything that he could to try to be to show that he is a better person. Not even try, to show that he is a better person. And that's the reason why even after certain situations, after seeing individuals, after, you know, being around different people and actually getting little pieces of the puzzle of who this man is, it touched my heart. It touched like the core of my soul to know that there's no coincidence to this life. There's no coincidence. Sometimes things happen the way that they did, even though, like, I still feel guilty about not being able to reach out. Sometimes certain situations happen to position certain people a certain way to make sure that you can actually come through for them at a later time. And, you know, a lot of fans say that, oh, you know, you're supposed to be a X fan since 2016 or 14 or whatever, and if you're not, then, you know, that just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me, because love is love. Love does not give any rats behinds about time, okay? Love, sincerity, and justice and loyalty does not care. Those things do not matter when it comes down to having a human fiber within your body to care for someone else. And I think that sometimes certain people question the situation or say, oh yeah, I don't want this person getting too close to this person, you know, or to that person, because, you know, they may want something, or they're just using this for clout, or using this for that, and using, you know. But sometimes you might have to sit back and look at the people that are saying that and wondering if their only position is clout in the first place for their own self. Okay. And actually taking the opportunity to actually investigate and actually see where someone's heart is, because sometimes when you're at that level, some people don't really know what real love is from a human, compassionate space. Not no money. Ain't nobody asking for nothing. Ain't nobody even addressed nothing. It was just about showing love and giving peace of mind. And that was the purpose of me coming forward.
Let me just add this in. Look, Cleo, call Czarr. It's ready. I'm waiting for your call. Stop playing around. Now, let me say this. I gotta say this. I don't agree with what someone said about I draw tits about it's all a massive plan. No, it's not a massive plan. It's all a ploy in order to bring in some type of persona to cover up or do something else that I don't understand. And that's about the threats. The type of threats I have, they make no sense. The type of interactions I have behind the scenes, they make no sense. The type of people I see getting together to do it, there's no connection. So if I'm to presume that, what would connect these people? It's not a common sense connection, but that is the connection. That means there's some centralized viewpoint in order to have things operate and occur the way they occur. It's all a manner of thinking. Chaos, chaos is used to make complete organization and peace. You make something chaotic, you get in and get something you need and you get out of it. That's the way you develop a strategy if you cannot take an enemy head on. These are all art of war things. That is how I know the mastermind is someone well knowledgeable, or if they're working in a massive group, they're as a centralized brain of people who can build on top of others situations. And that's part of what I'm trying to say. There's more to the situation. You know, I wasn't trying to make this long. This was a short talk about receipts, deception, and Tentacion topics. These are three very critical communications that this channel has brought up as topics and terms. Do you know, starting out, I had major YouTubers, not even Dom level, some bigger, that have come at me a certain way because I did this, that have addressed me a certain way because I did this, that tried to hop in on fake names and talk crazy because I did this. And I called majority of them out. Not because I wanted to be disrespectful, but because come in with your real name. Why can't anybody who's on YouTube be really who they are? They're scared they'll give up viewers, scared they'll be seen as what they are. Why are you scared to be seen as what you are? Why are you scared to show who you truly are? What is wrong with that? What's the problem with that? If you're petty and you squabble and you sound stupid when you type in comments, be that person. Why be different? I don't understand that. And that's why I told certain people earlier to get off the related channels, because I knew they were doing that. No, it's not that I harbor some personal hate. It's not that I hated you. Sometimes I hate what people do. I hated what you were doing because you have the platform and you don't handle it right. There's certain ways to go about handling business, and you guys weren't handling it right. But then making a fake username and coming at me a certain way, that's not what I rock with. I can't let that happen. See, that's my thing. And yes, I have commenters that say incredibly crazy things, but how are you going to say that reflects me from what I'm saying out my mouth? It's because you can't criticize the logic in what I say out my mouth. So you have to use some roundabout way, but your commenters, but you say what you want. How does that make it any different? It's an objective movement. We interrogate, we investigate, we don't insinuate, we don't do anything except bringing critical thinking into the boundaries of everything we talk about. What don't you understand yet? It's like people see what it is, but they're like, that can't be. But they make up what they want it to be. No, dummy. It is what it is. It's not what you think it is. You know, I wasn't making this live stream long. Thank you everyone for rocking with me. Hit the like button. Support the channel in the descriptions. You know what it is. Hit up the Cash App, $ capital THE capital CZARR. New movement, hashtag Cleo calls Czarr. That's the new movement. Queen, let them know how they can support what you do.
Absolutely. Head up queenprodigy0369 on Instagram. Also check me out on YouTube and Twitter at Queen Prodigy. And just to say one thing, I know that a lot of situations have occurred to where people are really confused over what's everyone's agenda, you know, what's everyone's purpose, why is everyone coming out of the woodwork, whatever the situation may be, whether if they're old, new, it doesn't matter. I just wish that we all can actually find peace for Jah and realize that we are all his people and that we're all his family, and we all just want to come from a space of love. That is the primary message, is to be in a space of love and to come together in unity, to making sure that our pain, our hurt, all of our questions, all of our concerns are finally at peace with what is happening and what's going on. And that's what's important at the end of the day, is to see at a higher vibrational awareness that we all sincerely care about this man. We sincerely care about this person's well-being because he's touched so many lives.
Okay, no problem. Let's see. Yeah, I plan to start getting more people onto Skype. Send your Skype names to my Instagram message, and we'll see if we could get you guys on, and we'll see if we could get things done. I'll bring on more people so we could get things done, and you know, I want to include as many people as I can, just to see what their point of views are. But yeah, Cleo, you gotta call me. This is crazy. I tried to reach out to you. You know, I talked about one part, but this other one I can't bring up till we talk. I can't bring it up until we talk. It's too much. It's too much. No, it's too much. It's too much. I'm not trying to roll with that. I'm not trying to roll with that, because if I'm to think of things a certain way, it's just going to be putting things into perspective. And I'm not trying to run off assumptions because the evidence isn't there, because it's not my job to solve this type of stuff. It's really not. But, you know, I presume that if you guys learn to actually take time and watch the content I've produced and start piecing things together, I think you'll start to see where I'm going mentally. If you watch what I've done, everything was for a reason. I'm sorry. You know, you can say what you want. I'm not playing with it like DJ Academics. You know, I'm not playing with it, but everything was for a reason. I promise. Everything was for a reason, whether you realize it or not. You know, they don't give credit to the greatest until they're long past what it is they're doing something else. But I can tell you, I did my thing. I did my thing. I don't care what anybody thinks. I did my thing. I got a little bit more to come. It's going to be detail about the message I did release, and you're going to get my thoughts on it. See, people want me to talk about how the case is progressing. Making it, it makes no sense. That's like someone trying to figure out how an elephant got in the room without breaking through the room. without thinking about if the roof was removed to do it. You know, it's the simple things, the littlest things that get people all caught up. You will hear me later. You'll get me later, maybe you won't. But it's not my job. It's not my job to.
I think that what you do, what we all do, I mean, our styles are a little different. You do everything that you can to take specific situations and allow people to question what is in front of them and to make them critically think about what is in front of them. And the aspect of where I'm coming from is allowing people to actually use their intuition, or actually see that their intuition is just as powerful. And when we combine those two things together, things start to make a little bit more sense as far as what is going on. And again, it's not about a specific situation or anything, because like you said it before, you were talking about the Kanika Jenkins case way before this situation, and that was your specialty. That's what you were doing. You were constantly bringing attention to allowing people to actually look at what was going on in specific situations and to examine it a little bit further. And as far as my situation, again, I didn't come out until a month after he passed, because I'm respectful of the man's energy. I'm not going to sit here and just put out a whole bunch of stuff and do anything like that. And I've had other sources of people that are close to him that say, yo, you are channeling that man's energy. That is him. They can feel him or understand or can get a sense of him through me. And I'm not used to this. I'm not used to being, you know what I'm saying, on a YouTube, on any kind of social media attention platform. I'm not used to that. I'm really down to earth. I'm just like a regular, everyday person, just like anybody else. And so for him to say, look, I understand that this is a lot for you. It's overwhelming for you. You're very sensitive. And I understand that. But it would mean the world to me if you could actually do this for me. And that's all I did. I was hoping to literally just put out a situation to where people can come to a universal consciousness, not an ego consciousness, not in their own selfishness, to a universal consciousness that they realize that they are hurting, that they miss him, that they love him, that they care for him. That's it. And that they're going to do everything that they can to get justice for him. They're going to do everything that they can to open up their minds, to communicate with him, to open up their perspective and realize that, yes, there is an afterlife. And maybe some people believe in it, some people don't. But that does not mean that you should stop everyone from actually trying to find a level of peace, if that's what they want to find it through other mediums, through other people, through other people that are going through the aspect of using critical thinking. This is all free will.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. So here's what I'm trying to say. You know, I believe a lot of stuff going forward is going to be powerful. And the new movement, hashtag Cleo calls Czarr, that's what it is. Thank you for rocking with me. We definitely got next weekend. We're going to get it done. All I got to say is that I stand on all the objective questions I asked out there. I'm sorry, everything started happening just how I perceived it. It's crazy. So I ain't got nothing else to say about that. Everybody, go subscribe and follow Queen Prodigy 0369 on all her social medias, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and support her. Go over and subscribe, hit the bell. You rocking with your boy. All rights reserved. All rights reserved. You heard? We out.